Hey, hey, I'm Chocolate, and welcome to the end of season report, part of Shades of Blues podcast, content season. Streaming live on Fest, and shout out to all our patronies watching with us. It's the off season, which means we can all relax a bit on tribalism. Here I am asking some of my favorite people about clubs, Premier League, or Women's League. Today, we talk the Premier League. Today, I'm here with a good friend talking about some bees. Lot of turnover, a lot of change happening for them right now. I am very interested in hearing that. And at the table, that's not great, but the way they started the season, keep that going. But honestly, it was an insane season with a lot of teams kind of going for one of those like 4 to 8 spots, one of those.
Right.
So I completely get it, but also that's what our guest is here for. New York stand up, Brentford stand up. Hey, our Brentford aficionado, our good friend, Shady Gang. Give it up for Charlie Corr. How's it going, friend?
Good. Hey, thanks for having me back, Kronk. I appreciate it.
Of course, always good to talk football. And when I got to the fact that I was at Brentford, I was like, who else am I gonna call? You always say I have plenty of people to give to you, but I don't want that. And we only played twice this year, right? Like we didn't bump into each other in Carabao or FA Cup or anything like that. Yeah. So we've had you on the lit stream once, I believe this year. So like somewhat, but I don't think we've chatted enough this season.
I think we played each other like back to back, like in a really close proximity.
Mm-hmm.
So like once like early February hit, I think we were done facing each other, something like that. I think that's what it was.
So yeah, saw each other twice. No, I believe it. Yeah, it was like twice in 4 weeks, 5 weeks.
Yeah, something like that.
Spent the first big chunk of the season not talking to each other, and then a nice little double batch, and then never again. But here we are. I'm super excited. The way that this works, if this is your first time watching, listening, hello. But we have it up in 5 categories: kits, manager, squad, supporters, front office. Each guest will grade A through F. Pluses or minuses are okay. And we have a fun little dialogue. And speaking of fun, we're going to start off with some fashion fun, talking about the kits. What are your thoughts on the home kit, and what grade would you give it?
Yeah, so the thing with Brentford, their home kits change out every other season, so we had the exact same one as last season. I had to look up last year's show just to make sure I had some consistency here, and so I've got the same grade. So this is the home kit. It's good. I gave it a C plus, and so I'm not changing my grade or anything.
I mean, you can maybe it hits harder this year for some reason. Maybe you're tired of it, so the grade drops. I mean, you were able and willing to change your mind, sir.
That's all right. I'll stick with what I had. I was just okay with it. It's actually. I mean, it did grow on me a little bit in terms of like looking. It looked good with the shorts. With the the kind of the black fade going into the shorts. So I will say that looked good, but as a kit, it was just okay to me. So the home kit was fine with a C plus. I do need to also preface all of this. This was the last season we're going to be with Umbro, and so we this off season we just signed with the Spanish outfit, Joma Sport. So it's going to be all brand new kits next season.
Trendy.
So this is we had about a 6-year run with Umbro. And they were good. I liked a lot of their material. But yeah, so just to let you know, this is the finale of everything Umbro when it comes to Brentford. Getting into some of the other kits, actually, the away kit this season. It was a pretty memorable light pink. If some people have seen that before, I give that one a B plus. It looks. The reason I didn't give it an A is because everybody knows about the messy Miami kits, and those are just so those are just so big. So in terms of originality, I kind of was like, oh, okay, we're sort of copying it, but I mean, it's a great kit though. I mean, as an away kit, I liked it a lot. They had like a button in the middle, the purple sleeve, like on the edge of the sleeves, and the lettering and stuff. It's really classy. So that was the away kit, and then the third kit for us was this really dark green color, which I'm absolutely a huge fan of. I gave that a solid A. The lettering and the crest were yellow. Pretty popular jersey, I would have to say. So yeah, I mean, overall, I mean, the kits, I think the away and the third, Brentford really did a great job when it came to that. So, and I think the fans were pretty happy with it too. So, yeah, so I mean, we kind of ended our Umbro, stretch on a good note with those two, and now we're different jersey provider, different sponsors now. I mean, we're not going to have, going into next year, we're not going to have Hollywood Bets on the front. No more Pension B on the sleeve. I have no idea what it's going to be, but all that's it's going to be a clean slate, going into next season.
I was super interested. I was like, okay, Joma, who do they make kits for? So they actually have
we'll be the only Premier League team with it.
But like they have Trabzonspor in the Superliga in Turkey, Atalanta in Serie A, Villarreal in La Liga, Hoffenheim in Bundesliga. They also cover Leganes because it's Spanish, Hellas Verona, Anderlecht, which is actually kind of surprising. Yeah, a decent amount. Getafe, Swansea City. So like Swansea and Norwich. So you're the top tiers. Like, no, who's looking at Norwich? Who cares about Swansea? Like, they're not in the Premier League. Get them out of here. Nobody cares about them.
Yeah. I mean, I'm excited. I mean, it'll be nice to kind of have an original provider, and I haven't done too much digging about them, but I know that they also make like apparel for like tennis players and stuff like that. So I mean, they're pretty established. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, the kits aren't bad. They look like they're fun. Honestly, they honestly look kind of cool. So like all the other clubs that have their kits done by them, they look like they're done well. So that's interesting. I love that. Okay. Yeah. Well, we'll keep it moving to the next topic. Oh, hold on. There we go. Possibly sorry for your loss. We will talk about what we had, not where.
Oh, we can talk about anything. We can talk about anything.
Well, naturally, first off, let's start off with your thoughts on how Thomas Frank did this season, and give him a grade, and then from there, I guess we'll kind of go for what's currently happening. But let's talk about that.
Absolutely. I mean, that's understandable to talk about all of it. It's so yeah. I mean, Thomas, he's revered in Brentford. We love him, and of course, I'm going to give him a pretty nice grade too. I mean, I'm going to give him an A minus. I think he dealt with a lot of good things management-wise, especially early on in the season. The whole left back situation where our outside back situation was just really horrendous, and him having that sit down with Keane Lewis Potter and convincing him to drop back into a position that he's not accustomed to, really, that really saved us in a lot of regards. So I give Thomas Frank kudos for that. I also give him pretty high marks for just kind of how he's managed our midfielders over the years. Every single season, there's always like one or two guys that really start to step up in that position. And late this season, Yarmouk, he's this 21-year-old Ukrainian. He got a lot of good minutes, and he absolutely deserved it. He'd come up through the academy and B team, and he looked solid. So he did that, and of course, then Mikkel Damsgaard had just an unbelievable season. And if you look back to the previous season, it took him a while to kind of work his way into Thomas Frank's system, but he's shown such great patience with our midfielders specifically. And when it comes to managing that group, I think he does a phenomenal job. The one little blemish I would give Thomas.
Yeah, shit on him.
Yeah, not much. I mean, I his approach to our cup games was kind of suspect. I really think he could have been a little more straightforward about the situation. We all see the writing on the wall, like when the Carabao Cup, for instance, like when we faced Newcastle in the quarterfinal, the lineup was just so horrendous, and of course he's trying to play it off as though we're gonna go for it and we're gonna do everything, and it's just like we know what you're dealing with, Thomas. You don't have to BS us through it. We get it, and we knew, of course, that we were going to be eliminated. I mean, we will end up losing that game 3-1. Wissa had a goal in the 90th minute just to save face. And plus we had a bunch of center back injuries too. But I mean, it's a tough thing, when you're especially a low budget team like Brentford, to try to manage yourself through these cup games and regular season and try to convince fans that you're going for absolutely everything out there. The cup, I mean, we understand it. I think he should just own up to it. He should have just owned up to it a little bit more and be like, hey, this is the situation. I need to rest so and so, and we see it. We're not, fans are not naive. And so, the cup performance, if I had to give a small negative to Thomas, it would probably be how he kind of managed that. And of course, the FA Cup, we bowed out right away with Plymouth Argyle in the third round. That was at least Plymouth did beat Liverpool after us. So, at least it looked like, all right, at least we weren't the only ones. But cup play, that's the one negative from Thomas this year. But overall, I mean, we got a top 10 finish, with our team, and we're pretty happy with that.
And he's a good manager. He had the players playing at their tops. And like you said, there's only so much you can do when there are 3 other competitions that you play in every season, even if you don't earn it because of the Carabao, the FA Cup, and things like that. So, you have to be your roster has to be prepared for something like that, unless you don't. And maybe that was Thomas Frank trying to be like, okay, ownership, what are we gonna do? This is me trying to do my best, but obviously I can't make a change. And I guess that leads to the news that it looks like he will be the new manager at Tottenham. Does Brentford and Tottenham hate each other now? How is this going to work?
Yeah, I mean, but me personally, I don't have any negative things about Tottenham. I mean, I've seen them there. I went to White Hart Lane for a game once, so I mean,
traitor.
It was the same trip where I also watched Brentford at Griffin Park. So I was hopping around at that time, and. But him going to Spurs, look, there are 2 schools of thought here. I mean, look, obviously Spurs, big club, they put a lot of investment into things. And of course we're the opposite. We're the second lowest team when it comes to our salaries in the Premier League. And he said he's wanted a challenge. I mean, it really doesn't get too much bigger than this in terms of the challenge you're looking for. Mm-hmm. I just don't know if this is the challenge he really wants. I mean, you're not going to have the situation that you've got at Brentford where everything is cohesive and, you're on the same page with a lot of things. You're going to have ownership and who knows who else over your shoulder with everything. And So he's not going to have that kind of freedom there. And also, I mean, they're not going to have patience over there either. I mean, if you look back to Thomas when he made the transition from assistant to head coach for Brentford, he won only one of the first 10 games for us. And, so it wasn't a smooth ride. But we're Brentford, and we're going to hey, we're not going to make rash decisions. We're going to put some thought into things. We're not half the other clubs in the Premier League who are, just going to, all right, you're not, I mean, we know it is a results driven sport and league, but there also needs to be a balance of things. And, Brentford's notoriously good about, trying to look at the big picture of things. And so Spurs, I mean, they're not exactly one of those teams that looks at a big picture. So, look, if he wants a challenge, he's got a great challenge. And if he's able to somehow lift them up, back into the, top third of the league, I mean, if you stick with him, I mean, I think it's a great move. They got an intelligent guy, but yeah, it is sad to see this happen. But I mean, we were all kind of banking on, or we all knew it was going to happen at some point. My hope, though, I wish him well. I mean, I think he deserves it. I just hope he doesn't poach too much from us. I hope.
Oh yeah.
I'm okay with maybe if they want to get involved in the Brian and Bumo stuff, but Justin Cochran and some of these other coaches, I don't want everybody to go. So that, or Nathan Collins, I saw his name was kind of thrown out.
That'd be tough.
About possibly going. That's when you're starting to cross a little bit of a line. And you're gonna start all the wonderful comments that we've had for Thomas over the years. It's gonna start to evaporate.
All gone. Oh, I love it. Oh well, yeah. I will be interested. You think the team is set up at Tottenham for him to do well at? City always struggle against Tottenham. The thing is, it's what pisses every manager off that goes to Tottenham. Will Dan Levy actually listen to the manager? That'll be the most interesting part. Okay, I'm excited about this next topic though, because this club, obviously, great. Some players had some really big years, or they had a big year, and that's going to lead to hopefully a very high transfer fee, and Brentford can switch that and hopefully flip that into positive things happening. But the club always seems like it's a well-oiled machine. So when one cog moves, what is going to happen, let alone a giant cog like the manager, and then possibly Mbomo, and I'm very interested. So just like we did with the manager first, tell me how you thought the squad did this season. Give me a grade, and then we'll kind of talk about who potentially is leaving and who is rumored to come in.
Sure. I mean, I would give overall. I think I'd give the squad a B. The offense, probably an A. I mean, Brian Mbumo, Jon Wissa, Kevin Shada. I mean, the three of them combined scored more goals than probably, I want to say, about 6 Premier League teams. If you just added their numbers, we were top 5 attacking team. So, yeah, I mean, that the attack was our bread and butter in terms of our season. But defensively, I mean, that aspect I'd probably give closer to a C. So, A for the offense, C for defense, B overall is kind of my take. The defense, I mean, and there were, like you said, there were some good performances within our group. Nathan Collins was great, Mark Flecken was great, but then on the flip side within that group, you had Ethan Pinnock, who had injuries and just really played poorly for us. We had that outside back conundrum, Mads Rorslev. I like them, but the first half of the season he was a struggle, and we ended up loaning him out. And so it was kind of hit and miss with our defense. We just conceded so many goals all season, and if it wasn't for Flecken bailing us out and score, or he ended up with not only the most saves in the league, but I think it's like the third highest all time in Premier League. So I mean, if it wasn't for him and if it wasn't for Collins, who I'm pretty sure I'm sure he led the league in block shots too. So the two of them really bailed us out in a lot of regards. So I think toward the final month or month and a half of the season, we were starting to see things a little bit better on the overall. We had a more consistent starting lineup. And it's a shame that Flecken's leaving too, because you go through all that stretch with defenders like constantly changing in front of you. Final month and a half of the season, you have a cohesive group, and then you want to go to Bayer Leverkusen. I don't blame him. I mean, it's something that he wanted.
You want to go play for Eric Ten Hag?
But it's just like you go through all that, and it's just like, don't you want to like stick around for one more season to like just like see the fruits of like actually getting through that? But that's the nature of things. It changes constantly. But so I mean, I'm pretty happy, with our group. I hope we can keep the goal scoring going. It will obviously probably be different with Brian likely out. I mean, I'm not going to say 100%, but it sure seems it's going that way. But if we can, Wissa and Brian, they're both still under contract for all of next season. So hopefully Wissa maybe gets a contract extension, and then combine him with Shada and Thiago. I mean, that's a pretty good, front line, if you ask me. So if that group stays healthy, I don't think we'll miss a beat too much. I mean, we'll certainly miss Brian. I mean, look, Brian's a talent in of himself, and it's tough to replace that, one for one. But I think we have enough pieces where I think we can certainly get through and still perform at a high level.
Yeah. Oh, of course. And I mean, Flecken's 31. I know keepers can play Tiller forever, but that is a good example of getting him out of there while he's still hot, while the intrigue is there. Same thing with Mbomo. Depending on how next season could go, especially with him being 25, that's the peak.
Yeah.
I mean, going to United, is it a better situation? It'll be very interesting to see.
He seems really set on Man U being this team, or at least, I mean, this is purely on the reports that are out there.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
I have no clue, but I know Nottingham Forest was kind of among the discussion. I think even Spurs, even before the Thomas Frank stuff popped up, I'm sure that they were probably among the the team names that were in consideration. But I mean, this is kind of this could be sort of a watershed moment too. I mean, Brentford needs to have a big transfer, like cash in. Like, I mean, we sort of missed the boat because of how things went down with Tony, and that should have been like the one where you're at the peak of your career, you got 20 goals in that Premier League season, and then everything just changed. But he should have been the guy. But now, now Brian, he's put together a masterful season. I mean, he also had 20 goals, 7 assists, 25, like you said. This needs to be. We shouldn't lie down on something like this, and I think we are focused pretty well. Like, the reports were obviously that we turned down the first offer that Man U had. It was like 45 million pounds with like 10 million add-ons, and we have said like all along that 60 million is our like absolute low number. So I don't see why you shouldn't. Everybody has a need up front. So we need to just I mean, we just need to be steadfast in this one in particular. And I think once that happens, then then that'll kind of pave the way to the following, transfer windows moving forward.
Yep.
Now that we have something at that high level, so yeah, we're used to the turnover, but we're not used to cashing in. Everybody's gotten a good deal. Arsenal got a good deal on David Raya. Like we need to cash in on this.
Yeah, we did. Yes, it did. Okay. Let's see. That's fun. Next topic: the supporters. Obviously, my idea of Brentford's fan base is heavily tinted because someone like you who does such a great job at being there to support the club and understanding the decisions and let's see, your worst grade is a B for the club this year, and so like you're a cup half full person, and that is amazing. I'm not going against that. I don't think that's negative. Like I love who you are, but I am not aware. Like I said, it tints how I see the fan base. But I don't assume they're all like you. But you, I would like to believe, are a little more tapped in, and obviously you're not the monolith to speak how the whole supporter fan base is. But from your perception, with your opinion, how do you think the fan base is done? What grade would you give them?
Yeah, I mean, I'm a pretty easy grader on these. I won't lie to you. I hope the PR and marketing folks out there are taking notice on how I'm grading everybody. So
yes, get more Charlies.
The supporters wise, look, I mean, I'd give us a B. I mean, there's so much bias when it comes to like this. We're always going to speak, pretty positively of our fellow fans, right? And I think, especially for a team like Brentford, where we go through thick and thin, not having the ups and downs of last season to even this season. I mean, the way the team, the supporters stick with the stretches of not performing well at home and well on the road, or the opposite, which was the first half of the season. We're pretty. I'd like to think most of us are an even-keeled bunch. The one negative, though, is for some reason there's a pocket of people out there that are still vocal about it. There's a segment of our fans that just never warmed up to Mark Flecken, and you've had me on several times. I always think I've spoken praise of him pretty much from the start, even when he kind of struggled that first Premier League season. And he goes out and has the season that he had. Again, like I said, led the league in saves and kept us in things. But even on social media, some of the accounts that I host, people were like saying, bye, good riddance. It's just like, really? Like after everything he's done, there is a pocket of Brentford fandom that just was never warmed up to him. They'll post videos of like a few shots of him like kind of standing flat-footed, and it's just like, oh my God, really? Like you're gonna go that far? And so that one kind of baffles me, and that's kind of why I'm gonna give a little bit of a slight, downgrade, is because for whatever reason, I just don't. We're not all on the same page when it comes to something that I think we should be singing his praises for. But what can you do? Everybody has their own opinions and takes on things. I firmly disagree with it, but yeah, I mean, you shouldn't say good, bye, good, good to see you, especially for somebody like that. I can think of a few other players where I'd be like, I'd be okay with them leaving. I'm not going to say it because, I'm a dedicated, nice, happy fan. So, I mean, you gotta stay in your lane on certain
You're
things.
You're not a monster.
Flecken, yes. I'm sorry. Flecken, you shouldn't go there. He proved it. He proved his worth, and
yes, 1,000%.
He got along with fans too. I mean, geez, what more do you want from him?
What more do you want? And I mean, he's leaving too. So what are there just people being like good riddance type of vibes?
Yeah, I don't get it. No, I
Mm.
mean, even like I posted something on our Instagram, like thanking him, and he liked, he liked it, So he's a
Oh, that's
nice
cool.
guy. He responds to people, and don't give him a hard time. It's we got, yeah, he was only here for 2 years, but I mean, he gave us a solid second year, and you can't, I just don't get that part. I really
Oh,
don't understand that one.
I mean, 2 years isn't the longest stay. So I mean, I guess I could understand where people might be a little upset, but it also
Yeah,
doesn't
yeah,
take much to make people upset, unfortunately.
right.
People be babies.
It can happen, that's for sure.
Hold on, what is happening with my? There we go. I don't know what that was. Anyway, hold on. Let's see. Any who else? Are there any keepers that Brentford are looking for? Like, who are they going to replace him with?
So yeah, so simultaneously while that was going on, it was kind of, it feels like it was a very mutual kind of agreement for Flecken to leave, because we announced Kevin Kelleher from Liverpool.
Yes, I was like, I
Yeah,
could have swore I heard of something.
yeah. So we ended up paying. That was like, so we got a 10 million pounds for Flecken, and we paid 18 million for Kelleher. So yeah, but I mean, it's a 5-year deal. He's 26.
Mm-hmm.
He wasn't going to get obviously the minutes at Liverpool, and
No
he's
doubt
kind
about
of been there, sort of, you know, in between game, cup game guy,
it.
really well known for like all of his penalty kick saves and in the cup matches. I mean, this is kind of his, step to, be in the limelight. And so I mean, I'm pretty happy with it. I'm really excited for it. I thought that it was gonna, but like before all this Flecken news, kind of started up, I wasn't sure exactly how we were going to approach it, um, but yeah, I mean, it feels like we got a good guy coming right in and who's going to step in. So, I mean, not to speak even lightly of Flecken, but maybe this could be an upgrade. I mean,
In theory, it should. You're paying money.
I hate to say this right off at the offset, but I mean, it really could be. So we'll see.
I love it. I love it. Oh man, and I mean, not for nothing. I root for you guys just because, like, screw all those other teams in London. Like Arsenal, Chelsea, those guys. Like, get them out of
All right,
here.
you're preaching. You're
This
preaching. I love it.
Yes, let's go Brentford. Let's go Fulham. Let's go Crystal Palace. Actually, let's not go Crystal Palace. I'm a little angry with you guys. So I'll take that back. Okay, final topic. The big bosses, the front office. How did they do last year? What grade would you give them?
Yeah. Okay. So, I mean, I've got another safe grade, but I do want to preface it by saying the first half of the season, I think I would have been pretty harsh on them because, um, as I mentioned, they didn't address our outside back situation. We just got unlucky too with like Thiago getting hurt early. So, and we paid, good money for him. Cavallo didn't really do much for us. So the first half of the season, if you asked me this question, I probably would have given something like a C or maybe slightly lower. But second half of the season, I mean, we kind of made up for it. We got the loan for Michael Coyote at right back, and now we just signed him to a long-term contract. A huge transaction there. And then the other thing that I think I mentioned once or twice with you is, the long-term signings that we got, like with Mikel Damsgaard and Keenlos Potter. The Damsgaard signing, I mean, that's such an invaluable signing. He was our MVP this year. I know, Brian's gonna always. He got the headlines. Wista got the headlines. Even Shada for down the stretch when you're scoring goals, you get all the headlines. But I mean, it was Damsgaard who, like, I mean, he's signed through like about 2030, I want to say, and we were able to pull that off. When very quietly. That's kind of our MO, is like we're able to like retain certain guys that we have full belief in, and so for those reasons, that's kind of why I give the front office a B. They're always good at doing that. Yes, there are going to be hiccups. The early season stuff, not addressing our defenders. That we dropped the ball on that. We did get Vandenberg, except Vandenberg. It's that one actually was pretty good. But outside of him, we really were inactive when it came to trying to, take care of like the absence of Aaron Hickey, the absence of Rico Henry. Like, we, as fans, we knew that they were not going to be, seamlessly back in the lineup. And for whatever reason, the team tried to be like, inventive, as I said, like with Thomas Frank, juggling people around and then finally relying on Keelos Potter. They put him in a bad position, unfortunately. And if we addressed that last August, I think we would have been a little bit steadier from the get-go. So, that was the hiccup. We got through it. And then, second half of the season, I think the front office really did its job. And even this offseason, I mean, I know this is going to kind of go into next year's grade, but I mean, I think we're making some pretty good moves. I mean, we're kind of the talk of the transfer window this offseason, which is something new that I think many of us are not used to experiencing. We're always like very quiet, and we stick with a lot of the guys that we've got in place. But I mean, now we're kind of part of the chatter, which is it can be a good thing, as long as we cash in on it. But at the same time, it's it's kind of new territory, and so it's kind of funny seeing certain some fans react in different ways, and like reacting to all these reports out there. And it's just like, you gotta 90% of this is just conjecture. Just stay on your path, like, and kind of show some trust in the front office, and that's kind of how I handle it, and that's why I feel pretty highly of the front office usually doing its job.
I completely messed up. I got lost in the conversation. What was your grade for the fans, the supporters?
A B, yeah.
And then what was it for the front office?
Yeah, a B for that as well.
Yeah, what a nice guy.
Yeah, this is
the
a
home
nice
kit.
Report card. But,
get that out of here. But everything else, you're good. You're good.
Yeah, I mean, B's through A minus, and the kits were the C plus carryover. That's my harshest grade.
Yes,
the home kit. Hey. Oh well, whatever.
And I said you could change it, but you're like, no.
Nah.
I still believe it. It's okay. It is okay, and only okay. Oh man, that's great. Oh man, what a chat! What a conversation! I can't wait for the schedule to drop and see when we'll be playing each other and what games will be surrounding that.
About one more week we'll know all that. So I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, I'll be like head first into the Club World Cup. Unfortunately, I'll be kind of
okay.
Because City are in it.
Right.
I was gonna go to Atlanta, but I'm deciding to pivot and do something else, which is not run around like a crazy person in Atlanta for this.
They did drop the ticket prices a little bit.
And I mean, and that's what tempted me. I have family in Atlanta, so I could stay with them. The ticket prices dropped, but I didn't buy a plane ticket when I probably should have, and now they're like, whatever I would have saved by staying with my family, I would lose it buying the plane ticket. Unless I want to fly like Spirit or something like that.
Oh yeah, I don't think you should chance that one.
And and even with like a 2.5-hour flight, like I still don't even want to do that. And it's like other than it's a sky bus, but also you get one less bag that you can take. And I'm not a big, like, I have my laptop, I have my camera, I have like things that I want to take with me. And so I'm not, and yeah, the American Delta, all that stuff, it's like $350 for a round trip. And I was like, nope, sorry. I lied to my buddy Jack again. There's somebody who works for the Daily Mail that I didn't hit up when I was in Manchester, and he did not take that well. And now I'm bailing on the Club World Cup, so he's gonna hate me. He's gonna definitely give me tons of crap. So I'm already like looking at. That's really when I want the schedule to drop, because I need to figure out when I'm going to Manchester, because I need to go up there and I want to make a Jack Gone day and hopefully try to get myself out of the doghouse.
Yeah, of course.
Well, friend, I really do appreciate your time. Please plug yourself and the things that you do. Let people know where they can find you.
Yeah, sure. So, for those of you out there, I'm kind of like the head person for Brentford's New York City supporters group. We've gotten together since we've been in the Premier League, and we've slowly grown, and now we're kind of sort of a well-oiled machine. We meet up for every game that we possibly can at the Red Lion in Manhattan. We met up for absolutely every game this past season, including cup games, which is kind of a huge feat. I don't think we're gonna replicate that if we get stuck with like a 7:30 a.m. Sunday game, but we were fortunate to not have something like that in our schedule. But so if you're in New York City and you're a Brentford fan, you can follow at pretty much every platform. It's Brentford FC NYC. I run social media on X, Instagram, Blue Sky, TikTok. We've got a Facebook group that's public facing. I respond to all of that kind of stuff, and it's it's kind of nice. This is Brentford's going to be heading into our fifth Premier League season, and it's been fun kind of seeing this group grow, and to kind of be at the head of it and seeing visitors pop in. It's New York City, and so it's great that we have like kind of a nice relationship with folks from West London, folks from neighboring states that pop in all the time. I have a lot of fun with it, and I appreciate you always like giving me a little bit of a platform to plug it, and let's keep this going.
Yes, sir. Let's go. Oh man. Well, we are back with 2 more shows tomorrow. Crystal Palace, Bournemouth, always a good time. And then on Friday, we have just Manchester United. We have Manchester United men, Manchester United women, and we're done for the week. Hey,
so maybe Brian will be a part of their team.
Oh, maybe. I can't wait to hear what they think about it. Yeah. Well, Shady Gang, we will be back very soon. But until then, you know the vibes. Shady Gang, Shady Gang, Shady Gang.